All live. I'm just going to optimize that screen now because I want to record this better. That one. There. That one. That take me away. Where the hell I've put me? Well, back now. Okay, right. We are actually live. Proper live. Live this time. Right, I'm going to make sure you are all turned up as well.
Are you sure about that?
I hope so. Oh. Is that a full sub or a prime sub?
That's a prime sub.
Okay, because I need to remember to change the bloody notification so I know which ones are which. There we go. Right, that's sorted. Right, okay. So this is not an official Daubers podcast. This is a.
Oh, so I wouldn't be here.
It's just C-Dog podcast.
It's just Connor ranting.
Yep. This is where we get to rant. We get to like unofficially get banned and maybe get unbanned. We get like shit ton of that. That's so loud. I need to turn that
actual
down.
sub.
You've never turned it down in the entire time you streamed.
I never do.
How many things have you been saying you need to turn down but actually haven't seen your stroke?
So there's definitely a scream bits amount that can be used that has not been turned off, and I keep forgetting, and it probably will cause the death of me. Like, so let's not push that button. I appreciate the bits, but I also don't appreciate the heart attack.
Do you still have
So you tell me I can kill you now.
It's viable. It's definitely viable. I think some of it is still on because I just forget to turn stuff off. To be honest, I'm really bad for it.
Yeah, I always just hit you with Mortal Kombat, but I'm not going to
do you want to know the sad thing? Actually, do you know the one thing I did fix? I took off the alcohol button.
C-Dog! Excuse me! Excuse me!
One. See, that one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. That one's just genuinely funny though, because we're winding up our friends. Oh goodness, but yeah, no, like I turned off the alcohol one, so like it's serious. Like I actually cried when I fucking hit the button to say like turn it off. I did, genuinely cried. Nearly drank alcohol. That was like that was where we're at.
Did you just sit and stare at your 6 bottles of sewers, or did you pour them out?
I've not poured them out yet, right? Because I genuinely think I'll have to give them to the homeless or something like that. Like I have to do my good deed. I don't know what to do with them.
It's not like they go off.
I know that's the problem, Brett. But my heart's good off. Like... Oh man! Oh, it's so brutal. It's horrendous. It's upsetting. Right, I'm hoping the audio's all right on the YouTube front as well, because we are now multi-streaming. We're on YouTube and on Twitch, so it's working, which is awesome. It's not it's so much easier. Listen, I will happily pay the $14 a month for this system. It's so easy to operate, and then the VOD's just saved, and I can fix it.
Which is slowly getting killed anyway. So
I mean that is the true thing. Twitch is definitely in an odd spot right now, like, which is probably like I definitely highlighted when I'm switching to like doing both. But
there's a lot of people have been talking about like moving to YouTube, and I know UVS have been streaming events on both YouTube and Twitch, and been seeing a lot of engagement coming from the YouTube side of it.
Because more people have YouTube and use it is the difference than Twitch.
Do you know something? Do you know something I did notice with the YouTube though? Right, it's way less hostile than the Twitch one though. In that chat,
people type in full sentences as well.
Using full stops. I noticed that. I noticed that the other day when they were the OCE event was on, and I was like watching it on YouTube. I just happened to be there. Like I would watch it on whatever one I click on first, and I was like reading the comments, and I was like, oh, there's like genuinely comments, somebody asking about the game, and then I went to Twitch, and it was like, you're a fud. I was like they were like moaning about something. I was like, whoa, this is two different conversations. I was like,
Oh, so
I'm just going to sit to YouTube. It was so much calmer. I was like, my heart can't take that kind of chat anymore.
So YouTube was enjoying itself, and Twitch was just generally complaining. So
Yeah,
normal
100%.
chats then.
Yeah, it feels like that's where the sort of the regulars go. And I'm like,
A minor mistake has been made. We must rip everyone on camera to bits about it, including the commentary staff.
yeah, some of it deserved though.
I've actually seen much of the OC regionals because I was at UK Game Expo.
So you were at
I
Expo. Yep.
I heard, yeah, UKGE. I heard that Bakugo kind of went on a rampage.
They did, yeah, all the way up to the finals before a peak stopped them.
Yeah, I think that was generally it. Wasn't until it just peaked that stopped them. Like
Yeah,
how
he
many
he
players
beat up everyone else.
Was it 39?
Hang on, I can maybe find out.
I want to say it was 39. In my head, that's what I had somewhere written down ages ago. Good, a solid event for them, like an absolute solid event. So I managed to like watch small snippets. I was working the weekend, the full weekend, so I was able to watch small snippets after work. And to be fair, some of the matches looked pretty dope.
Yeah.
Great to see Devil Jin coming out in full force at 5%, even after the errata.
Yep. It was actually a really nice spread of characters as well, from what I could see. Which I think is nothing to not be expected of the OC players, because they just play better UFS. Like, by miles. By absolute miles.
Yeah. Between Scott, Rocco, and OCE, we're making the Americans look bad for Byakugo topping events.
For topping events, that's fair, yep. Like we've just figured out like high level characters. I think that's what's happening.
We have our own metas and we think outside of the predefined box of two characters.
I don't think you get to say that, Broberg Jr.
Hey, I didn't have a doubt for the weekend. I went, that looks fun. It was. Then it all got banned the following week.
Can't believe you contributed to that.
I was on stream for the first game and I went, I don't understand all these buttons. Luckily, Scott hit me. Then I understood the buttons for the rest of the day.
Oh. So yeah, I was looking through it and it's like a fair representation of plays, pretty good overall. Peak winning it was interesting, just down to the fact, like, definitely
He's
seems to be the brand new kind of boogeyman card that like a lot of people are talking about. But then, do you know what was shockingly not there? Falco. And I felt like that was the character that was getting all the talk about and just wasn't there.
I know Peak has been on people's radar since Let's Talk UVS essentially previewed it, because they basically just went, this is an unfair character. I mean, I'm not as active in the community as I would like to be because I'm usually recording stuff, but I've not really heard much about Falco like popping off. I heard Flock like can do some silly things popping off.
Yeah, Flock's in an interesting boat. I think it was mostly down to like the idea of like speed and stuff like that, and like Falco just goes mental on the speed end. But I've also not seen enough gameplay. Like, I think sometimes as well it can also just be like cards get talked about and then not actually like done anything with.
Yeah.
Same goes for Flock.
Anything that requires you to deal damage to pop off like its abilities, like the transform version of the Jaw Titan flying form, is a hard kind of sell. Because you can give anything EX, but you have to hit, and you're not always guaranteed to hit.
Yeah.
Also, there's a damage problem as well in the symbols. You've got a couple of cards that can hit hard, but your opponent just needs to sit and wait for the big attacks.
I think it's just the fact as well, though, that like the enhance just lets you get potentially just mental speed. Like, it forces your opponent into a spot of like, do you overbuild knowing they're going to get lots of speed, but you have cards to compensate, or do you underbuild to mitigate their speed, and then maybe you don't have all the pieces in play? Like, I think it creates like a really nice interaction between both opponents.
Well, I went and played him in pre-release, and he was nuts in that. He pretty much said you don't get to block 2 attacks.
Yeah.
How important is that commit enhance when you've got Barrier Shield, Pageant Queen, Moment of Normalcy, Eden Box? It's a one-time speed pump that your opponent has many ways to kind of interact with.
Do we know if his static lets him ready himself? Because it just says ready
Yes.
1 card, so like
It's ready 1 card that's not been ready,
Yeah.
so you can ready himself.
So it's
So-
a 2-time pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got 2 options to go mental on the speed. He's on some pretty air and chaos as a symbol as mental. They're like
I mean,
up there
Air
on
can also
options.
just sit there and defend, and I'll throw 2 attacks per turn that are 20 plus speed. I hope you have 2 answers every turn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you just force the scenario of like, do you have what it takes to stop this?
Yeah.
Because the bonus
What
of also
attack on-
getting I go
What
for it.
attack on Air Chaos are you that worried about getting that much speed?
On chaos specifically. Oh
Air-
my god.
air or
On
chaos,
air.
like,
Air
what-
or
what
chaos.
attack-
Walk the dog. Walk the dog.
Yeah, walk the dog's a good shout.
Hmm.
Walk the dog is a good shout. Honestly, if I look at any of my like Godzilla packages, like any of those attacks, in fact, blooming hell, you could blooming get his death ray's blooming big ass attack, stupid speed, and then blow up their board. Why not?
Yeah. On your instruction, your borders go on. It also hits you for 6. I
Yeah,
hope you had fun.
you've got. Well, I was going to say as well. Like, when you look at some of the infinity attacks, like you could potentially hit them with like humanity's final stand. Like
I
force
will
up,
give Mr.
force a
Toombs
block.
props. I will say that Mr. Toombs is correct. The infinity symbol is a bit of a problem for some things.
The infinity symbol's fine. It's doing its job.
It's in a weird spot now. I think the problem now is like in the past, Infinity as a symbol never was like as like I'm going to say represented in every single set, and now it feels as if like it has to be in sets.
Yes.
But it feels locked to that because of the design choice of limiting how often you see symbols. So now it's like, oh, you didn't get a symbol. Here's some infinity cards. Like that's kind of what it feels like.
Well, infinity cards for us back in the day were like set promos and stuff like that, like the Cowboy Bebop, the round 1 fight kind of thing, or Fatality Brutality. That was like our infinity symbols. And then after that, they went kind of buck wild with giving everything infinity when they decided, we'll just print a cool card. So, nothing against saying, now we'll print a cool card and everyone play with it, but some of them are like, that's strong.
I mean, I've said it in my video talking about David Toombs' thing. Infinity should be a baseline of power for the set. It should be offensive, defensive capabilities and abilities that are thematic to the IP, but also that every character gets access to. Things like a moment of normalcy, if you put it under any symbol, warps that symbol's power, and any symbol not in Attack on Titan Apocalypse is immediately detrimented by not having access to that card.
To an extent, yeah, for sure. I think the fact that they went down a limit in symbol representation, I think makes that look worse than it is. Like, because you ended up having like all the symbols ended up having like some form of their own way of doing X kind of thing. And then they all had like their very specific like design mythologies, like, oh, you're playing void, you're aiming for discard, like that's all you're doing, you're discarding, removing, stuff like that. Chaos was all about hacking checks and stuff like that. Like there was all these kind of things in play, where now it feels
True,
as
but
if
remember, we got for a couple of sets of cycles of everyone gets a 1 diff -2 speed essentially, or everyone gets a 1 diff draw a card essentially.
which I don't mind in the grand scheme of things. Like I don't mind if you give out flat, like let's just call them token cards for everybody, you know, like everyone gets like a little bit of the same. If it's generic enough, fair with that. I'm fine with that. Like I've got no real issues. But I think what
Yeah, I mean, some things being shared across make sense, but just It's whenever you look at a set and say, okay, every symbol has a -2 speed one for a flip, do a card by draw a card by jumping through this hoop kind of thing. It's like, okay, we're getting a bit samey here.
Yeah, but if you can put that ability on a one diff infinity card and go, okay, cool, everyone's got access to this now, we can focus on the symbols representing their identity. And yeah, we can allow people to draw cards, but we can make it thematic to the symbol's effects rather than going, here's a one diff foundation that says flip, draw a card. We stick down infinity, we say, yep, that's a staple of a set. It's going to be accessible by everyone, and the symbols stay thematic to what their identity is.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah. I
That means
honestly
fair.
don't
No.
mind that. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I don't mind that at all.
I do have a gripe about the thing saying thematic to what the symbol does. Evil has been missing in the wind for about a year now, and other symbols are losing life to do things. That's evil's thing. Give it back. It annoys me greatly.
I think
Give it back.
I think what's also funny is the more people get into retro, they get to now fully be seeing the defined nature between what was the mythology of retro essentially and like what is now. And I think that does kind of highlight it a bit. You're sitting going like, oh, that's what that symbol used to do. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, that's just.
Oh, you
what
look back at
does.
retro and go. You look at retro and go. All those symbols are cool. God damn it, chaos is terrible. Everyone else is decent though.
Oh my god, I know. I can't believe this is like the era where like chaos got to glow up. Like,
I mean, Adam, we have an entire 3 sets of we destroy face down foundations with ruin. Let's flip your board, and not a single iteration of the Earth symbol.
yeah.
Yes, the amount of we're going to flip everything, ruins a thing. Great, the Earth symbol's not here. We're going to make tons of face downs, and we've got what, like 3 cards. I'm not counting the reprints from Miyako. 3 cards maybe that care about face downs. Where are the rest of them? Where are the things that say I get plus damage or draw a card or give me matricide back? How many face downs you got? I get that much plus X plus X.
I mean, we've got some stuff in Critical Heroes of Exandria, especially with the
That's like the 3 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're actual reprints. It's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one as well. Like, I mean, I'm the Earth player. I'm always going to be annoyed when we don't get Earth showing up enough because it's rubbish.
Sorry, you've now annoyed me. So you got Snaring Roots, which is just a bad reprint of an old card, an old Aswell card.
Yeah, yeah.
Might of Stone, which is a bad reprint of another old card, which is you have to discard a card above that one as well. And then we've got, sorry, there's 4. My apologies, there's 4. There's another one that gets speed for each one of your opponent's face down, so we had that on Foundations, so we can do it multiple times, and Precise Arrow gets speed as well for a 4 damage attack.
Did you say? Did you say the specialist training one?
What specialist training?
That's just a reprint.
Yeah, Elite Special Forces.
Elite Special Forces is just the Mortal Kombat reprint.
I didn't see Elite Special Forces.
Yeah, so it's the back page one.
It's the back page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, missed it entirely then. Yeah. Oh no, I know the Elite Special Forces are reprint. Yeah. I just wasn't on the pages like that.
Because I started like figuring out
the lore
my
behind that card is Tyrion Downton leaves Vox Machina to go start his own Wild Mount kind of adventuring guild, and that's who's in that image.
Ah, yeah, it is as well. That's quite good actually. I was laughing because I was like making up my collection, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't have a playset of this rare back page card." Oh wait, I have 12. I was like, "Okay, problem solved."
going from that, I think it's very cool that they are kind of dropping specialized named cards. A lot of the cards we're seeing in Critical Role in Attack on Titan, they're not apart from like the ultras and stuff, they're not particularly locked into a character. It's not like Texas Smash or Delaware Smash and things like that. Where the cards that we could see reprinted in the future, with that would not be clashing with IPs, would make sense.
Yeah, it's like it feels as if like they're not copyrighted to like an extent where like I hope maybe next year could we just get a set that's just aggressive reprints?
So
Just
I
a
brought this
platinum.
up at Albuquerque when I was talking with people, and we were talking about like next year being the 20th anniversary. I would love to see a non-standard set come out that is all of the champ cards reprinted, and then the rest of the set is made up of retro reprints or generic good reprints that have moments of UVS's and UFS's history captured on the cards under generic names.
Yeah, yeah, I would actually like that. A
That
lot.
would be good, yes. I mean, I still am one of the people who miss a character with a set of cards because it made the folder look nicer. But I understand why he's moved away from that as of nowadays.
Listen,
Though if we
I'm
never get
happy
a
just to whack them
a
in.
set with 2 symbol characters again, it'll be too fucking soon.
Well, this is actually something that's going to probably come up next year, I would imagine. Like, we're getting Godzilla. There's no way we can lock Zilla characters to 2 symbols. I'm just saying it now.
No.
Unacceptable if it happens.
I'm hoping that the whole 2 symbol things was a Attack on Titan only because we've only got 6 symbols, all that. Like, we're meant to. There maybe be a spotlight tournament for it sometime in 2 decades' time when people remember they own the cards, and that's the reason why. But as long as no one else does it again, because it's so boringly restrictive to look at a character and go, I've got 1 symbol I'm going to play on, and this redundant thing I'm just going to tune from.
So,
Great.
so here's what I think happened, right? I think they had a design idea 2+ years ago when these cards get designed, right? And they never at any point assumed this will be a bad idea or the community will not like this. I genuinely just
I know
think
Blitz
that's.
exists.
But again, I don't think Blitz in the grand scheme of things. It's annoying now because we're now just seeing Blitz. So I think that's became its own problem. But I think that's been I think what's happened, just to like fully get it out, is they went, here's what we want to do. We think this is the best route to go down, which in this scenario is we want to limit the symbols so that they're designable to a set, which I can kind of to an extent agree with. I like the idea of it. I just don't think it's been implemented correctly. But hey ho, that's like 2 years ago. Like you can't really blame them for like something now not working. Like, and then they've went down the same route of like, well, we want Blitz to be impactful and be part of the game. I think if you drip feed that the way we've had that in the past with some like Gauge, for instance, like a retro one, it was in one big set and then never looked at again, which I don't think helped that keyword. Like I think that became
No,
a really you went from mass implication to it to then drip fed where you've seen it once or twice and you've seen
whenever you
characters who
saw it in the
wanted
later
to do it.
sets,
You also want, but then
you
the thing
saw
as
it
well, when you think about it, right, there was other sets that came out later where like a character wanted to do it and clearly didn't have enough access to do it as well.
well, the only person the only later character that got it and got cards that actually helped them was Amy. Because Amy was the only one that got printed going, here's a 4 damage attack with Gauge 3.
Yeah.
Or here's a 5 damage attack with Gauge 3 on it, so even if it was partial, you still Gauge.
Yeah.
And all the original Gauge cards were the printed damage, which was never happening in a month of Sundays.
Yep. And I think that's a bad scenario to have though. But like then you've got the opposite end of what they've done is they've went, here's the in a big way, big forced out way, and then it's all you're seeing now, so that it's impactful. You know, like I think that's the two clashing points to like how you implement something. I don't know if there's like a really nice fine line down the middle way you could do it.
So, in honor of the 1 anniversary of Summit 1, Blitz was fine the way it was introduced. I think it's become less fine the way as it's progressed.
Yeah.
So when Bill Stark pitched Blitz to us, he basically said attacks will come in, they'll pop off their blitzes, and attacks will get to do what they were designed to do, and then the enhanced step will be you fighting over the rest of the attack. But attacks will have a purpose, and cards like Sweeping Daggers are a perfect example of what Blitz is needed. Because if we didn't have, if Sweeping Daggers copy effect was say an enhance, you'd build a deck that was designed to mill your opponent until you hit their best attack, and then copied everything off that attack.
I'm pretty sure that was a deck back in the day.
Probably.
Putting Blitz on it makes perfect sense because it means that you're not playing enhanced chicken. You're not just spending 20 minutes in this enhanced step just going, give me your best attack. Where they kind of messed up is things like last second dodge and goblin area bot, where you get to interact with Blitz and you now get to go. Blitz is meant to allow you to do. Blitz is meant to allow your attack to do what it wants to do, but I'm going to stop that. It's like, cool. So why is it not a response? Why is it not an enhance? You've taken the one unique aspect of Blitz and you've taken it away.
Yeah,
that's the thing I hate about Blitz the most. They brought Blitz. I know they brought Blitz in because people were wanting their attacks to do things. It comes in, does its thing, and stops. But the most powerful ability in the entire attack step is what the attack does when you play it. I cannot interact with that unless I'm playing specific cards. So these cards have to be in my deck to deal with the way the game currently is. Instead of me having a suite of generic answers, I have to have Nonagon and Immortal Body and Genkai's and Moment of Doubt and other bits and pieces to kill an attack fully instead of just saying, no, you can't do that one thing because I have Revoke.
Yeah. Plus, also what you just said.
You lose your whole attack now instead of losing a bit of it.
You also have to be on the right symbol to be able to do the cancel stuff as
Yes.
well.
Because it's not generic anymore. It's got one feckin' attune symbol on it, and only 3 decks can play it because every other character in that symbol is shite.
It's been a big issue with things like...
Which is why I like Moment of
Doubt. While I was in Albuquerque, apparently people were flashing their attacks with Midoriya and then trying to resolve blitzes, and people had to go, no, you can't because they're not. It's like, but it skips the enhanced step. Yeah, blitzes are part of the enhanced step.
Still part of the enhanced step.
That's the other stupid bit because we go responses, the enhanced step, but with the sub-starting blitz step. Now the enhances.
Yeah.
Just make it a fucking response. They happen in the enhanced step, or right before it anyway. You can barely interact with it. Same thing.
I think Tam summarized it the best by basically saying, if all we'd had since 2006 was blitzes, it wouldn't make that much of a difference. But because we've had enhanced, because we've had that interaction and that kind of back and forth, having it taken away is damaging the fundamentals of the game.
Yes, I would agree with. I actually would have to agree with Tam on that one to say that. That's a bit I would like when we started playing the game. I've enjoyed the fact that you're playing. Every play was a back and forth, was a thinking, was a bit of a this won't take 10 seconds to resolve. This will maybe take a moment of back and forth, chickening out abilities and answers kind of thing. If I look at attack in my hand and it says Blitz do a thing, I can't combo it with anything. If I have Blitz double the damage of this, well, it has to be the printed damage, not the I can increase this as I play or use my character's ability. Unless I have a response on play, then this is just 8. Is it double to 4?
Yeah, but it would also be, I think Blitz with that kind of ability, say True 100% had Blitz, so you didn't get to manipulate your stage to build in as many as you could before you popped off, or try to re-ready your stage. Like William Anderson can just go, cool, I've checked a 3 on True 100%, I'll blow 2 of them up to build down, I get now 2 extra damage.
Yeah, that's some good card interaction.
Yeah, it's good kind of interaction, but it's kind of also creating that additional time in the enhanced step. What I don't like is the fact that we've got pure blitzes apart from hand enhancers. Like attunement in Critical Role, I think it needs to be sprinkled out. We still need attacks or enhancers on them.
Yes, attacks and enhancers on them still need to come in and have a purpose and a function. They need to have the ability to. These are the key pieces that synergize your deck or flow your deck, and your blitz can be your big flashy, like big attacks or big splashy abilities when they come down. But my wee 4-diff that says E do a thing, draw a card, E do a thing like gain stun, that's all fine. We can play here, or I can just chuck my 6-diff stupid thing at you later.
Yeah, and I think the thing with having like enhances actually on attacks, right, goes back to the fighting days as such. It's like, cool, I can do a Hadoken, right, as the attack, right? My opponent can still block or do something to mitigate it, sidestep, all that sort of stuff. Like, I feel like enhances on the attacks gave that part of the game like its whole identity as well, which is like, you can do stuff on your attacks. Your opponent might not let you though. Like, that should be a fair way of a game balance.
Yeah,
It's just everything having blitz or the new attacks that come up, they don't have blitz but have feckin' response instead. So the same thing essentially. I'll have just essentially a restricted play window. Blitz has to go. Responses have a specific trigger time. There's no point where I can get in amongst it and improve it or change it or battle it out kind of thing. It's gonna happen. I don't get a say in it unless I've got specific answers or the one generic no.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those ones where it's like, I'm hoping, just hoping at this point, by the time we get into it next year, that attacks go back to having a bit of balance to it, so we're not just always seeing blitzes. So that, like, at least then, like, when you've got these ones that actually do have a bit of cancel, and because that also had to exist, you have to have some cards that come out that just inherently cancel blitz as well. I'm fine with.
You also
them
need more
existing.
character interaction. The most powerful card in your deck's your face character. Let me interact with it. It's not sacred. It's a part of the game. It's a game's piece I need to be able to touch. Sorry, I'm going to extend my rant.
I also think we need to hurry up and get the ability to commit my character again for cost and just fix Cart Titan. That clearly was the broken scenario.
Oh yes,
Can we
I
just,
know.
Can
We
just
printed
fix
this
that?
character without thinking about it. We're going to change a fundamental part of the game.
Yeah, can we just fix that? Or right, you have it where you can't. So, like, see if you can't commit character for cost. I don't think you should be able to commit character to pay for a check. Just saying.
Aye.
Like, see, honestly, the way this is the ultimate way you fix the whole character thing, right? You either have it where it's able to do the stuff it did because it wasn't actually that part of an issue, or you say, listen, the character is a complete side thing, kind of like the way when you've got like Sung Jin Woo's get his wee Assassin's Tree. The character should just be a side thing, no interaction with it. Just completely nullify interaction with characters. They're just a thing that sits at the side and does stuff.
Does going second get worse in that situation?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, it inherently would. Because you can't
Probably
commit it
always.
anymore.
Yeah.
But,
But no,
again,
no,
I
but-
would still.
Well, not really, no, because you're still getting the draw at that point.
You're still
You're
getting the
draw, but with the culling of the zero diffs.
Oh, don't start me on that, Brett. We're going to talk about balance at some point. You're going to talk me on zero diffs.
This is why we weren't allowed to have the webcams on, because Adam's just got like holes in the back of the wall. Because we mentioned zero diffs.
I actually have hot mic recordings of Jeremy Ray talking about zero diffs, and he's basically asked me to shelve it, and he's going to try and get approval to come talk to me about zero diffs, because we had a whole discussion on it at the summit. But yes, they are actively killing zero diffs at the minute to bring them back in a new way.
It won't. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna redesign zero diffs, other than the fact that they either will kill themselves or flip themselves and have one-off abilities. If you give me a zero diff 3 mid block with no text on it, aka Attack on Titan things again, I'm gonna shred every copy open.
Yeah, but what we don't want is things like basic training again, which were very powerful zero diffs.
See the one they printed, which is just the Godzilla one, but they stuck a 4 tech on it for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, it makes
That's fine.
But
See a wee one that does flip, do a thing, love it. That's fine. That's all it needs to do. I just need to be able to play more than 3 fucking foundations on turn 1.
And that's the direction I think zero diffs are going to be going in. They're going to have commit or flip as cost on face.
I'm fine with that.
It's designed to basically not have this situation where people are going, I'm going to build 6. All my zero diffs have OP abilities. You can try and kill me turn 2. If not, I'm going to be swinging at you.
I think I think also the ironic thing of like the way the way they want to clearly deal with like the idea of the aggro, right, was let's slow the game down. They want it being a slower game. They want it being a 4 to 5 turn game instead of this scenario where we're constantly facing, did I just get turn 2'd the 7th time in an event? Yeah. Like, so getting rid of the zero diffs actually does make sense though, because it immediately does curb.
You cannot say that Godzilla main.
Listen, I can play that Zilla off of 3 foundations, right? I don't need
exactly.
zero diffs.
You don't need zero diffs. You don't need foundations.
Right?
Annie maybe goes, fuck it, we're gonna kill you turn 2 with +5 damage and everything because I found Theo.
In Albuquerque, Adam, I came across a Godzilla who played 0 foundations the entirety of game 2 and was still throwing out 4-check attacks trying to kill me.
Is that right?
Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah, the person is called a legend.
They were. It was amazing.
I endorse
I'm
it.
getting back in retro where Emma wipes my board and I'm playing Nightmare. I'm all 5 diff attacks and I didn't play another foundation and killed her because I just didn't draw one. I went on a 5, on a 6, just passing checks because the deck's just 6 checks. And if she blocked at any point, I picked one of the attacks back up again and threw it again. She died to Nightmare's trigger of flip text, cards on top of your deck, and burn for every attack.
How did Murray get on at UGE
I haven't
Retro?
spoken to him. Oh no, I did, sorry. He played Willie. He played Dr. Wiley. And he put Dr. Wiley on the watch list.
He wrecked a bunch of people in retro. And one, I think one of the quotes I could take from him was, I think most of the games they scooped game 2 too after playing game 1.
There was quite a few new players apparently, but he's playing. Have you seen his Dr. Wiley deck? The one that just does.
But I know there was at least 2 players just playing standard decks.
Yeah, they definitely scooped him if they played him.
Murray's playing.
It was good
Dr.
just to
Wiley
hear that and know that people are learning to fear Murray again.
It's his Dr. Wiley deck in a nutshell says,
it's
I
so
sacrifice
fun.
1 foundation and build 3 face downs in response.
It's not fun. It's not fun to play against. It's entirely an NPE scenario. Like,
He's definitely put either Dr. Wiley or Skull Fortress on the watch list. One of the two.
I can't remember what deck I was playing at one of the regionals. It was probably Godzilla, let's be honest. And I was playing. We went back to the accommodation, and I played against.
I know you did. Yeah.
Maurice Wiley, and it's like it tore me to bits. It was the most upset I've been playing against a game where I'm like, I literally can't hit into this at all.
If you ever wanted a deck that said if you blew up the board to it, it would go, oh no. Anyway, it's Dr. Wiley. He rebuilds the next turn. Doesn't care. Did you leave his assets alive? You fucked up.
So Rochester banned Thermal Blast because it was destroying everyone and not having fun. While Dr. Wiley goes, yeah, sure, blow up my foundations. I don't care.
Pretty much. Also, Rochester is a
100%.
fan-made format and not legal, so we don't talk about it here.
That is true, or else we'll get into trouble.
It's in their own rules document that it's not allowed, but apparently that one's fine.
Listen, all I want from Rochester Retro, right, is for the suspension list.
Unbans,
No. No. It's just for the suspension list to make fucking sense. Like, don't ban or suspend a card just to then bring it back without saying like anything was fixed. It's just like it's not as like the whole Ken thing just annoys me. They ban Ken.
The Ken thing was
They
stupid.
ban Ken to start with, and they go right. Ken's too hyper aggro. He's the definition of aggro. We're taking him out, and then
Goro's still a gatekeeper.
And then a few months later, we're letting Ken come back into the format. Nothing's changed. And like what? Wait, what? Like no. You've got to like elaborate to like why has something happened? Like
Nah, just people didn't play him, so we think he's fine now.
yeah, I just think like I think at some points, right, I get the idea of them being like, oh, we want to rotate things, but then that all that means is the stuff that's disgusting. Oh no, I don't get to play it this month. I'm going to ruin somebody's life with it the following month when they have to unrotate it. Like some things do need to be banned for the health of a format. It is what it is. Card design is never perfect. That's the point of bans. When it hits that point where the perfection isn't met because a card exists, get it banned. Or errata.
I can feel the segue.
Especially if we start seeing things like more prize ball tickets, more promos, uncut sheets being offered for winning retro. Just being go, we just want to rotate cards to keep it fresh. Like, no, you need to actually power balance retro because the pricing is getting better.
Oh, 100%. And the thing with the retro that I don't understand how some people don't seem to get this is that like that card pool is so vast, right? That card accessibility is so vast. You can get your hands on these cards if you genuinely ask around. Like there's not just one like Smog the Dragon holding all the cards in a cave. Like
there's a collection of them in Scotland.
You're not getting my folders, I'll fight you.
I've been sending stuff literally all around the world. I've sent retro cards to Spain last year and this year. Like,
oh yeah, one of the Spanish, I think it was one of the Spanish players that won the giveaway for the other half of my Yu Hakusho box, and the player absolutely loved it. He sent me pictures of his polls going, "This is going to be great."
That's the thing, and it's like these at the end of the day, these cards have like there is a way to get your hands on these cards if you really want to. Some people will just let you borrow stuff just so you can play it. You know, like there's so many options
That's what we
into the
do.
format. Yeah, that's literally what we do.
I
We
was
just
gonna-
bring stuff.
The
down.
Glasgow one is going to be me rocking up my backpack, my actual decks in it, and probably a carrier bag, two
Yes.
carrier bags, my folders going, who requires retro borrows?
Oh, 100% retro. Like in Glasgow is going to be amazing. Like it just
It will
is.
be. Also, all threats of cards not coming back to me probably is a death threat.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have like AirPod tags in all of my sleeves. The shuffle might be horrendous, right? But like, listen, with Nick Reagan's not banned in retro, right? So it's gonna be fine.
Who do the nutcrackers
kind of
belong to? It says
weird-
AB across the back of them.
It's gonna be some kind of weird my Valentine-esque where you can tell what cards on top of your deck by the way
By
that
the
the
way,
air
the
tag
air
is
tag is
ringing.
positioned.
Connor actually gets all his cards slabbed before the event, so you have sleeve, slab, sleeve,
To
slab.
be fair, right, I would potentially get a deck graded so I could put an AirPod tag in each of them, and it's not actually going to cause any issues.
Christ.
It'd be good. It'd be so funny.
Right, we almost did a good segue there into the
We
new
nearly
errata, by the
We
way.
nearly
Yeah, no,
did. We
I
were so
had to
close.
derail it.
We were so close. But yeah, I think we should switch over to the champ card. Finally
I
getting
mean,
hit.
the one errata and the three
Yep.
we can't write cards good.
Mitch is gone. No.
Clarification errata and the errata that people have been asking for since February.
Yeah. It's been it's been a while. This one's been a while for sure.
We allowed the superpowered Eva to be reprinted. No, there's no problem with this for 6 months.
I mean, it didn't break top 4 the entire time it was at full power. That's fine.
But neither did Goro when he got
Yeah,
banned.
and he
so.
got banned. I think the thing with Nick though, right? This is the best way I've described it to people, right? He is quite literally the Oxford Dictionary definition of hyper aggro plays and high roll. Like that's what he does. When he high rolls and it works, it's the most unfun game that you could ever be part of. Because there's no interaction. It does far too much and it just pops off and it wins the game and you're like, that was a fun 3.5 minutes that I got to sit. Like, oh, when's the next round start? An hour? Okay, I'm away. Like,
Imagine being able to cancel character enhances. That'd be wild.
yeah, could you imagine if we had buying back? That would fix so much, to be fair. Like, give us an Infinity character cancel, and I'm fine with Infinity having some broken stuff.
So wouldn't Devil Jin also like fall into that hyper aggro 3
Yeah.
minute?
He
Yeah,
does.
Devil Jin and
he
Nick Reagan are
definitely-
both casinos because of
he
five
def-
hands.
He definitely floats into it. The thing that makes Nick way more a definition of it, right, is being able to remove the top 8 cards, right? It's such a significant chunk of deck that your probability of hitting at least one of the usable cards is so high. That's why it's like the definition of high roll, because high roll is when everything works correct, it's the greatest feeling for the player playing it, but not your opponent. But when everything goes wrong, it's the worst feeling. And I think he's the worst feeling when you brick, when you remove that top 8 and you hit just your foundations. I'm pretty sure people have wanted to flip the board because they're like, "Yep, game over. Next game 2. I'm done."
I mean, you still
Ban me."
get 2-2, which is not insignificant.
You still get 2-2, but here's the thing: like, there's a Godzilla card that, like, as a character for like 3 of them, gives you 2-2. It still gives you stats, fair play, but the thing with it is it's entirely subjective on hitting and getting that extra enhance. Is the whole setup to it. And when we've seen all the decks, let's be honest, none of those decks hit a point of like originality after like the first event because they're all playing the same setup.
I forgot 8 fish got reprinted.
I
8
think
fish is funny.
I think TC's Nick Reagan is the most original. The one that the air Nick Reagan that was floating around that had the warp gate portals and the Merco cards that were just clearing the card pool and keeping things cheap. That was an interesting build that had high risk to it as well because of the 1-checks.
Because of the 1-checks, yeah. But then also the 1-checks fall into the category of high roll still. Because when you hit
one of the guys in the OCE finals lost because he hit the one check.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
And
He
but
hit the
again,
one
but
check,
again,
had to come out 4.
and
Was
that's
that? No, that was Albuquerque, sorry.
and I'm fine with that happening because again, that's what high roll is. When it works, when it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's one of those scenarios where his probability is way more skewed on the you hitting the correct card just because of the how much he like feeds into his own enhance. That was the flaw to it. See if that was removed top 4, for instance, I actually think he would be fine. Because you would never want to play a 100 card deck. You'd play a 60 card deck and you're actually not filtering through enough where you're going to hit just foundation chunks because of, on average, shuffling shuffling a general 60 card deck, like it's never going to be a 2-2 split, like unless you're a dodgy shuffler. But like we'll not talk about that.
Brett Twitch from here.
So do you think Nick Reagan is just going to like skulk back into obscurity? Are we going to see more lean versions of the deck coming out?
You'll definitely see people still play him because now what happens with the twice per turn scenario is it actually lets you play setup first and then you go for the kill turn, knowing you're probably going to hit some stuff. Especially when you get close to a cycle as well. Like there's probably a lot more defined plays that you could do with them now, I think, with it being twice per turn.
I think it makes all his kind of de facto symbol because if you're limited to twice per turn, then things like Final Smash, where you can guarantee hitting a key card, are going to be required.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and then it becomes a scenario of like deck building becomes like a real effort. Like, what is the perfect number for him now?
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be interesting to find out.
Well, the thing is, just talking back to his ability, there, his ability is obviously remove top 8 cards of your deck and your Titans +2/+2. That is the line of old Eva. That is just old Eva's ability with extra shit stapled on the back. As we all know.
Someone hasn't watched my interview with Nick. He literally just wanted Eva reprinted.
I know that, and I would want Jaina reprinted. I just don't know why I needed the wall of fucking text behind it.
And I'd want Goro, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel as if one of the 3 of them was also just as bad as the other 2.
Originally, they were separate abilities but they essentially were too powerful separated, so they all just got rolled into one ability.
That's brutal.
That's not how you fix that.
Yeah, I will say though, right? What I think
Nick wanted to be Eva and have text for your on face. No, pick one.
Do you want to know something that I will say is a kind of interesting comparison though, right? Nick feels busted and is busted, right? Mitch has all the access to be busted, right? And probably is, but I think he's in a format where like Nicks are just the easier go-to, right? You've got those 2 characters. Why is it those 2 characters, right, are like inherently busted when it's like the first of the kind of UVS design cards, right? But the ones previous being Garrett Brett, sorry, and then Will feel really fair. Some will be able to bust them, right? I feel like you can. The Will card, I think's got like a line that's going to be like, yeah, okay, he's strong, but they
Will
still
will be value town, but Garrett will just be like annoying.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at them going like, these cards do not look like they were designed equally.
It's to do with the line of when they were also designed. So like, Nick won Worlds and immediately messaged them about what he wanted his character to do. He wanted Eva from the start. Mitchell's was a bit harder. His card abilities, his card art went under lots of revisions. But Garrett Brett and Will have been waiting, a minimum of 5 years for these cards.
Yeah.
I was like, Will's been waiting 3 years. Garrett's been waiting.
Oh Christ, they have been waiting that long, haven't they?
Yeah, and there's people that have been waiting a lot longer than Will. Will was very surprised he got his before, like Ashley and a lot of the other people that have been waiting a bit longer.
I'd imagine that just comes down to like approval rate, you know, like, because like, let's be honest, right? Like, I think if you get the greatest prize in all of gaming of making a character card, some people, a lot of people, probably not me, would definitely spend endless hours making sure it's perfect for them. And then they have to have the back and forth with the company of like, well, we need this to be playable, for instance. Like, all I'm going to shout at them is Goro repeatedly until they give me my card. Like, that's how that scenario's going to go. Oh, 100%. I'll actually
You'll
fly
eventually
to them.
fly
I'll
over with
fly
a cup.
over to them, and I'll be like, here's a foil version, right? Put my face
You'll be
on
hanging
it.
off their front door shaking. Just print Goro.
I will also go to Warner Brothers, right, and get the approval for the art to be used so that Goro is just cradling me. That's the card art sorted. Like,
I mean, they've got a Thor inspired card and a Wolverine inspired card, so you might be able to get away with like you shirtless with 4 arms just being Goro.
no, I don't want to be Goro. I want to be with Goro.
But speaking of something you mentioned earlier, Adam, how do you feel about Garrett Brett being 2 symbols?
That makes sense for Garrett Brett because Garrett Brett is a real symbol.
Do you know the thing is though, right? He's the one time where the 2 symbols does actually make sense because now he's had
He has been every
card
symbol
with every symbol, yeah. And even all the way back in UFS days, that was actually a legit discussion. That was like open discussion. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, he mentioned it when I was talking with him on the interview that he'd done 3 symbols on all his characters, so he's downgraded to 2 symbols, and they have to be opposites of each other. So he's done good and the opposite, good and all, and now he's got evil and void. I think the next one is I can't remember what he said it was going to be. It's like Order Earth or something.
No, so his first, his first one was air, death, good. Then it was chaos, fire, void. Then it was earth, evil, life. Then it was all order and water. And then the one that we got to use was his 2015 one, which it was just all and good.
Yeah, and this is the opposite.
Which was
evil and void.
Yeah, and this is evil and void.
To see, by the way, a card with 2 symbols on it. There's just a blank space.
That's so funny.
That's weird.
It's just so funny. It's just the best thing of it. That's like pure great design though, mythology though. Like I've won this enough.
I didn't know about it. I just asked him like, oh, how's it? Was the 2 symbol thing in Attack on Titan? He went, no, Attack on Titan took that from me. I didn't take it from Attack on Titan.
And we all appreciate that there's actually 3 Garrett Brett cards in that one card. Yep. He's actually got about a dozen abilities.
Yep.
Yeah, it's him looking at his second card, which is looking at his first card.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 abilities on one card. I'll play it.
It's like, why not?
I've also got 8 symbols.
Also true.
But no, I get what you guys saying, like around the power leveling of them, and Mitchell Samino is a lot more fair.
Have you played it?
If you take away his toys, like he lost VME and he immediately just stopped seeing play.
Oh yeah, VME is a big hit for him. But when I watched Connor put 4 fast hybrids in his momentum, and he only ever played one of them, there's a problem.
It was the funniest game ever. Like Murray looks over and like you see the fast hybrids, and Adam was like, it's like turn 3, it's like turn 4, it's hit, and he's hit me once.
Harvey walked up and went, how the fuck did that get there? And then he's randomly put cards to his momentum, then discarding them to pay costs for VME, and it's 2 walk the dogs, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
What's the fucking point in me swinging?
It's like, yeah, every time. It's like, this face down could be great in a turn. We're about to find out what it is. There's like,
I still think Order is possibly still his strongest symbol.
I actually do think Order is his strong symbol, though, for sure. I just liked it on Chaos because it meant I could filter into like not having to rebuild a deck properly because I just happened to have a casual Chaos deck built.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say to you, Adam. Did you know that Garrett Brett 6 could have been a 30 health character, and Garrett said no, leave me as 27?
That's a true UFS player talking though.
That's the ninja health 627. That's the ninja health.
My other characters are 627. I'm staying on theme. He's like, oh yeah, sure. If you want to have a health damage,
I think
heal on your farm.
But I think that's also a really good scenario to face, right? Because one of the things that they've implemented and tried to do with the idea of slowing the game down is giving people just more health. And let's be real, right? it hasn't changed a thing.
Well, no, it's changed. It's changed a few things. It's made some characters feel real hard to kill, and other characters go, "Why the fuck does let's find one?" Falco Grice have 31 health. That is a 10-year-old child. I don't care if it flips into a Titan. I can kill him before he does it.
Yeah, it's like you batter him before he transforms. Like problem solved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of those weird ones. Like, why does this small child have more health than a kaiju?
yeah. Like it's like
I
even when you look at some of them as well, and you're sitting going like, right, like look, the gym coach with 30 health, and he's a six-hander. That when I started this
Levi
game
2
would have been like,
is a six-hander with 32 life. Why?
Yeah, it's like I get the idea where they went down the route of trying to fix it and stuff. I just feel as if it's like adding health to stuff. I don't think fixes how aggro works, because aggro is not hitting you for 20 damage and then saying, right, your turn. Aggro's hitting you for 40 plus damage, knowing that it's killed you in the following game, even if you decide to reset up. Like, that's what aggro's doing.
Yeah.
If you're just looking at the set of Attack on Titan set, you have Levi Ackerman 2 at 32 health, who will fucking die at 32 health. And in the same set, you have Reiner Brom, who has 17 health on both sides. But if he doesn't get a flip, he's dead.
So do you guys know about Sam Tate's Joust format?
I have heard
heard of
about it, right? But I've actively not looked into it yet.
So it's kind of talking about what you're going on about here. It gives you the opportunity to play your perfect offensive turn and your perfect defensive turn. Also, basically saying it's a 40-card deck where you're probably running at most 6 attacks. So you're always pretty much going to check 5s. And the entire format is meant to highlight how good defense is at the minute and how good we're kind of eating defensively, even in the space of all these attacks. So, like you were saying, Connor, with the increasing health doesn't matter, because if attacks are coming at you for 20 damage each, that 30 health could be 60. You're still dying in 3 attacks.
Yeah.
But
Is that just the turbo format? Like 40-card decks, is that just all turbo?
That was all
Well,
turbo. But what Brett's saying is like
40-card deck, but you get to choose 5 cards to build in, and you get to selectively choose your hand.
you're basically doing theory hammer, right? Where you're doing the perfect turn.
But defensively, you get
And
half your hand size when you're selecting, so it gives you. But even at half your hand size, void characters are still ridiculously hard to kill.
I play Mecha Godzilla and I'll play all the draw and all the damage attacks and murder you regardless.
No, so what I see. So if you go and check Sam Tate's like video for it, I filmed it and I built the decks for it, and I'm playing Midnight 2, and the entire deck is designed to go. I have 4 Gravity Wells, a Spellstorm, and a Welcome to Johas in my hand, and my stage is a spirit glass and 4 hosted spellbooks.
No, fair.
Fair enough.
So you go Spirit Glass, stop your low block, play Gravity Well, cards can't be flipped during attack, +4 damage, +4 damage, +4 damage, +4 damage.
To be fair, it does actually sound quite funny, like, because it definitely gives you like it opens up the idea to like those set plays, for sure.
It's what you're kind of talking about there is going. The idea behind making games last a little bit longer shouldn't be increase the health. It should be make control and defense more viable.
I have another great suggestion to make games go longer. Let us interact with goddamn character cards and just remove Blitz as a fucking concept.
I actually think if Bang was introduced back into the game, it would fix. It has to be on Infinity though, right? Because of the way the design has went though. But I generally think if you give access to everyone to have Bang, you change those, like, you no longer get to play this scenario of like turn 2 is a killer turn because they might just have Bang.
Yeah.
So you've now got
Zilla, Bang, no more plus.
Yeah, like turn everything off. Like that actually does fix a lot of problems. I think it's one of those ones. It's a scary idea to be like, can we throw it in now? I think they do. I think honestly, what would be interesting, something cool they could do, especially with the reward store. Make some cards that fix the format, right? And just make them a reward store item. Like, I know it becomes this whole, like, we don't want mechanically unique stuff in the store, but, like, find a way to, like, get it out, like, so that, like, people have access to stuff that could just fix the meta at times.
There's 3 play mats in the store just now, by the way.
Yeah, I can't use the store anymore because I have no
There's
points.
one thing I want them to add to the Redemption store that we brought up at the summit, and that's shift tokens. So for people
Tokens
that
in
don't
general.
want to, yeah, for people that want to sleeve their pre-release decks, having a like blank token that you can write in or you can put something
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Because like when I played against Gigan, I got a Founding Titan's power, and I went, Jeremy, how's this working? PVE? He goes, you just get to make another attack. Like, cool, I'm gonna play it. And I went, I didn't bring sleeves.
Oh, that's brutal.
I can't play this.
Yeah, like I think like as much as we don't want to copy Magic, like Magic did a lot of the things with like werewolves and all those kind of transform characters. You just had a token that goes into the sleeve, has a bunch of the cards written from like the set that was out that was like these are cards, and you just tick which one is the card that you're going to be playing. Like I actually do think that's something that I would happily say just steal that from Magic. Bill, we already know you can do this. Just steal it from Magic, put it in the game so we can have this idea. Because like the fact that like we've had so many different conversations, especially as well like with like judges from EU having token versions of the cards for their deck and then being told, oh, you can't do that, and then being like, no, it's in the tournament rules to be able to do it and stuff like that, just kind of like highlights that nobody really knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I mean the rules. I'm hoping that the judge program does come along and we get the formatted rules. I didn't know you couldn't freeze a card that's already frozen, and I played against Tam.
Can I just say, I am still convinced that was shadow added in.
Because freeze came out back in our day, you could just go, oh no, same thing's frozen. That's a shame.
Because you could always freeze a frozen card. Like, I am 99% sure that was a thing. This might be the one time. This is like our Mandela effect, right? Like, but I could have swore you could do that. Like, I never thought that was a thing in the rules. And then, like, when somebody like brought it up, be like, "Oh yeah, you can't do it." I'm like, that was added in because they've realised they've messed up with a card. I was like, I'm sure that has because nobody. Let's be honest. Whoever in the history of this game has ever had to look up what freeze does after a card's frozen? Nobody has. Never happened. Yeah. There's never been a situation where it's happened.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. So I played Keyleth against Tam, and I kept freezing things that were already frozen, and not a single person brought up. Not Tam, not myself, not anyone watching. And then military airship comes down, and people go, "Oh, we can infinite lock this," and I get a phone call off Guile as I found it going, "Yeah, you can't freeze things that are already frozen." Like,
yeah, I feel as if that article, I feel as if like that document was updated there and then.
It should say remove. Playbook.
It should just say first in hands. Simple as.
Yeah. And the problem is, like, you take it to retro and people go, "Oh no, ready an asset? I'll do that in my sleep."
Yeah, there's enough ways to ready it where first in hands I don't think fixes it fully. I think it's still is it not still currently infinite as well with the what's the bird boy attack basically that loops it?
Tasty Riff.
Oh,
Tasty Riff. Yeah.
And that's where Fist Enhance would fix it. So it can't be so because freeze is part of the cost, anything that re-readies it doesn't matter, you can't use it again because you can't freeze it even though it's ready because it's already frozen.
Yeah, because it's already frozen.
If you put Fist Enhance on it, Tasty Riff is also a Fist Enhance, and you can't do that twice.
Yeah, I feel as if it's just remove. It feels strong enough where like have a card that allows you to replay a card. Should just be a remove cost. Like don't try and redesign the wheel. It's a circle. We get it. Like just have things have remove costs that do really powerful things. I think it's
supposed to be kind of like a spiritual reprint of Struggling with Studies for everybody. So you block with something or you Genkai something, they play the next attack, you pick it up and go, do it again, let's see what happens. It's more a defensive piece than offensive piece.
But half the cards that like do that thing defensively like remove it from pool. Like the attack doesn't get to stay, so it's like it doesn't have a target then. So
True.
it's like, yes, it's a tough one. Like I think it's just it's another one of those ones where it's like, is there such a need to have to read? Like, here's the thing, right? We want to slow the game down. Let me give people cards access to things that say, let me just replay that attack again. Like, why are we speeding up the game but
But
also trying
there's
to
two in one
inevitably
set.
slow it down?
There's this and the one that picks up Titan attacks, but the same set that has the blow up the board Titan attack.
Oh, that's a 6 diff 4 check foundation.
It's still
We are in a format where we play 8 and 9 diffs casually on turn 2. Don't even try it.
The problem with that scenario, right, is unless you're hitting it with breaker and stuff like that, or really playing some stuff out, that card has a deck that just plays 6 checks. It literally, like,
Yeah.
unless it checks one of the, like, if you play one of them, right, there are only 3 other cards in the entire deck that say, oh, that failed. Like, and fair enough, that's super high roll, but it's also in a deck that lets you just keep building stuff and you just keep building. That's silly. The fact that we've not seen that yet is simply down to the fact that the Americans didn't have access to it at that event.
And the
Albuquerque
first Titans Hange 1 deck, also very silly.
Yeah, so with the Harness and Death Hange 1, with the Flock Founding Titans, I think we need a board wipe that includes backups, like a self-destruct or a Decay Awakening that basically
that hits
not only includes assets but includes backups.
Yeah, that's actually something I'm shocked hasn't actually happened yet, because there's been a couple of games I've had now where there's been like a board wipe and I'm still left with like 4 or 5 backups, and I'm like, wow, I have just unending amount of resources still in play. Like,
I can play as Annie, and I played all my Jaegerists and Theo going, I don't really care the board died. I can still play things.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, so I'm playing Zilla, right? And if somebody like board wipes me, I'm like, that's fine. I've still got Sean Gilmore to plus my next check when I hit you in the next turn, because I'm still going to hit you. Like,
And you're Zilla, you can just do it yourself anyway.
It's like there's so many like just absolute mental
the most pointless character board wipe is Zilla. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care now because he gets it on attacks that are now loopable. Zilla just became a bannable character based on the fact that, like, well, almost anyone like running any form of board wipe becomes a bannable character, but he can blow up the board and then continue to build. There's nothing stopping you from building after you blow up the board.
Yeah.
So like it's so stupid. Like, it's so like, I blow up board, I get a rebuild phase, and you don't, and then your opponent has to then say, "Can I play off of 4 foundations?" Right?
That's always been Zilla's thing.
But here's the thing.
But
here's the thing, right? If I start hitting you with the vast hybrids and start committing and freezing some, right, you're going to now be like, do I blow up the great defensive cards that I have because it's frozen, it's already locked out? There's so many like lines of text now that's just like, I want to build that because it's getting built for Spain, but I do feel a little bit bad that I'm already looking at building that.
I mean, the one thing I would say to watch out for is we're going to have Street Fighter and TMNT in Spain, and we have no idea what's coming in TMNT.
Is TMNT not released the week before?
It's like a week before. I am saying it now. It's not going to be playable at Spain.
It won't be playable at Spain, surely.
No.
If Critical Role was at Denver, and that came out the week before.
Yeah, and I don't think that should be the case. There should be a grace period. Like, there really needs to be a grace period. I think the problem as well is it's like a week before, like, the Americans just don't make the complaint, so it's not an issue. But yeah, the day of, there was a very much divide in the line of like, some people are like, no, that's so stupid, why are we letting stuff like that happen? Other people are like, no, let it go. Like,
yeah, it should be playable the weekend of, unless
the weekend of, definitely not. The week before.
If it was a sealed regionals for that set, sure.
Then fair play, yeah, because then that plays into the scenario, yeah. But I just think,
I don't think we'll ever see sealed regionals.
I hope not.
I hope we don't see sealed regionals.
Sorry, no, that's a lie.
Draft.
So when you guys were talking about like the 2 sex characters and stuff like that, and you were talking about, that's what I wanted to bring up, but we kind of moved away from it if I could. That is kind of where the design process was meant to be for us at the minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
We're meant to be playing tournament draft.
We were supposed to be drafting as a format.
I think Spotlight was supposed to be a much bigger aspect as well.
They never tried to push it. That's on them.
Do you want to know the biggest thing with Spotlight? I think Spotlight was brought up when they still had My Hero, and as if they were going to continue having My Hero, and then they said, "Oh no, wait, we're moving away," and they went, "But we've talked about it a lot."
Aye,
like
they didn't run any. They kind of left the Spotlight thing to local stores. They didn't run any official nonsense unless it was an actual standard major tournament was a side event. But no major events or bigger events were just Spotlight.
I think the best way to fix Spotlight is to scrap the IP independent Spotlight and make it a deck Spotlight. So like a UA Light. So you can have an Attack on Titan deck versus a My Hero deck.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
So rather than everyone going, we have to be My Hero Academia or we have to be Yu Hakusho, and you go, no, you can play any IP,
but it's
but
that
all
IP.
your cards in your deck has to come from that IP.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd like that as an idea. I don't see why they can't have that.
Oh, also they can't do Spotlight for My Hero because set 1's involved in that, and then it's nobody gets to play because it's all set 1. It's all Giro.
Yeah, but,
but then you have a ban
would
list.
Just be banned.
Yeah, you just have a ban list to fix that.
Yeah.
Like,
but then no one would play it because no one can play Giro.
I think
the big one is Yu Hakusho getting its
yeah,
Spotlight.
Let's have Spotlight.
Here's Kurama.
No. Both Kuramas are bad. You will leave them in their box.
Yeah, there's definitely
Kurama 1 is somehow worse than the second one. And the second one's only bad.
No, well, you're about to find out in Spotlight.
No. But the first one was just weirdly done and just badly given like 17 health. The second one could have been good. But they printed an entire fucking ability concept of stuffing your opponent's card pool and then refused to print any support for 3 sets, bar a challenger deck. Because why would we bother with the water symbol?
Because Tongue Whip was toxic and they kind of identified that.
That's fine, but don't have a kicking deck archetype.
It's like don't have an archetype that requires.
Yeah, the entire identity of water is card pull stuff and defense, and it's kind of like you can do it, but your attacks aren't going to benefit from it.
That's absolutely fine, but seeing him Zero 2 drowning under absolutely no support, it's great fun. Zero 2 could have been an actual character if the ability had any support.
Almost any water character could have been an actual character if we had support.
That's true. Oh no, Zilla's a water character, so other than Zilla.
Yeah, and even then, that's his ironically weakest symbol. Like
only because it's all lows and we can block that.
Yeah, and only just.
Aye, and only just. Even the set that came back out with water in it, Hex, doesn't have any card pull stuff. And
so you guys were both at Chelmsford, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Were people sharing primary symbols and deck lists?
What?
I'd imagine.
Were you guys sharing your deck lists and were you telling people
your
primary symbols?
Yeah. No, we actually.
At the start of every game, we went, "Do you want to see my deck list?" And went, just give me your deck. Just hand it over."
So round 1 against Aaron at Albuquerque, we were like, "Oh, my symbol's this," and we handed each other our phones. We looked through the lists, and that's the only time anyone did it in my games.
I just offered, "Do you want to look through my deck?" at the start of every game.
Nobody cared. It was also, like how we're not supposed to mulligan or look at our hands before they announce the round. Nope, nobody cared about that either.
You wouldn't have gone away with it. Nathan would have appeared behind you and choke slammed you through the table.
That was very much enforced at Chelmsford, which I actually appreciate as well. That it was enforced, because I don't think rules should be getting made and then just kind of like hand waved, like, oh, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Like,
but it's one of the things that I wasn't doing it because I was like, oh no, I completely forgot about the symbols. But I was watching people like going through their hands and stuff. And I was looking at someone going like, I didn't have a fever dream that rule came in my post. Like, no, they shouldn't be doing that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no. We were threatened with chairs.
Yeah. Nathan was very excited to catch people.
Nathan actually was genuinely saying, like, if I catch you, you're getting reset. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, it was very, and he was not lying. Like, Like, I just didn't even draw my hand. That just says, listen, my deck's there. I'll wait until they say go. It's like, I'm not touching it. I was like, Nathan was waiting to give me a second stroke that entire fucking weekend. Like, it was like going to happen.
I thought you'd have had that when you found the proxies in your deck.
Oh my god, that's the
it
fucking.
almost did.
Aye,
It almost did.
fucking. It's not even that. Do you know
Oh.
do you know the worst part is? See if it was anyone else but Jonathan, right? They wouldn't have stopped me from scooping because that's legit what I was getting to do. Because I went to scoop, Jonathan was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I'm a fanny because like Greg's gave me cards and I've not taken out the fucking proxied ones because I'm a fucking stroke survivor who's not thinking straight. Like I'm using that card to shut up, right? And like I was high on excessive painkillers, like that whole weekend. And like I went to just scoop and I just says, "Yeah, I'm just going to scoop." And he goes, No, just take them out." Like, and I was like, "Right, okay, we'll keep playing." And then it was like problem solved. But it was like I think a vast majority of people that at least I know would have done that like in general against anyone. I think that it would have been like the odd case of somebody I just genuinely don't know would have just been like, yeah, like probably more confusion than like acceptance to it.
Yeah.
I think most of us are going, "You're a fanny. Before anyone walks over here, do you have the real cards on you?"
Do you know the thing? Well, the thing is, the real cards were also in the deck. Like that's the thing. The deck.
You were high on
size-
painkillers and
Yeah,
just
like,
You
survived the
just had
stroke.
8 copies of a card in your deck.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? It wasn't until like this is the thing that's the worst part, right? It wasn't until like fucking 9 turns in before I even fucking saw the
Yeah.
proxy.
Oh.
Like I saw the
It would've been
actual
even
ones.
better
I saw the
druid.
actual ones, and I didn't see a proxy. Never checked it once. Out of the 4 that were sitting, they were all at the bottom. So like when it came to like the end of the game, like Jonathan like basically annihilated me anyway. It didn't really matter. And then like I went, where are the rest of these proxies? Because then I started thinking like because I got like significant through my deck, and I was like, maybe I did take some of them out. I was like, maybe I did, and I've just had that one that I've saw. Like, and I'm starting to go like, did I just put them in the same box and I've just put them next to each other? I'm like that, and then like there's 2 at the very bottom of the deck, 1 card separated, 1 more, and I was like, oh, there they all are, right? Okay, like okay, at least we know where they are. At least, like I'm like, what the hell?
You're a muppet.
That's madness.
It's not even that. Like it's screwed the deck because it added 4 more 3 checks to the. Like it hampered the progress.
You're really a muppet, you know that.
Oh.
Because
Also when I checked the first one, I just took that as the check. I didn't recheck. I just took that as the check as well. So like, that was the notion we were going off of as well. So it was like if I checked them, like I'm checking a 3, we're dealing with it, and we're like throwing them to the absolute other side of the room, like. But like that's something.
Geez.
But that's like something that you can generally highlight as like an actual thing where it's like it's not even like, ironically, it's not even cheating. It's just stupidity, right? But like
Yep.
you can sort that out. Like that was sorted within game, and then like it didn't even matter because like I wasn't even like I was there for the 5 points. Like everyone that saw me was like, "What's up with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, so I had a stroke the previous week." Like less than 8 days removed. Why did you fly to an event?
That was the question. Were you okay to fly down here? The doctor didn't say no.
The doctor didn't say no, right? And that
As long
was
as he's
all
not driving the aircraft.
Yeah, the doctor did not say you can't fly. He just didn't say anything about it. I did specifically ask.
The
Right.
doctor can't say no if I don't ask them.
No, I definitely did ask. Because I had my heart scan on the Thursday at like
Yeah.
12 o'clock, right? Where I asked all the questions, and then 12 hours removed, flew down to Chelmsford. Like that is the genuine series of events. Like once we went to the point of like, you need a heart scan. Okay, cool. Went to the hospital. I had it like all booked in. Hospital's good to go. And then I'm asking all the questions like, how bad is it, doc? Am I deed? Is this a mirage? All the questions you would ask. And then the simple one of like the I think it was even funnier because the way they asked me questions where I was like, I can't lie, but I'm trying to like find a way not to like not tell the truth, because like they were like, "Are you going to do anything stressful?" And I says, "Do you consider card games stressful?" And she and the nurse in the room went like, "Uno," and I went, "Yeah." I was like, not a high level competitive game in the slightest was going to get played.
I mean,
Yeah.
Uno is probably more stressful than a lot of games that we play.
All my games are stressful because I'm always in a winning in scenario as well. So like,
This motherfucker will have a heart attack playing Catan.
so I was sitting going like, yeah, cool, like that's fine. And then I was asking things like, yeah, can I even fly? Is it actually like advisable to fly? And they did say like when they got the initial scan and they looked at it, they were like, it could be worse than what we know, but like off the base scan, they were like, an hour flight isn't actually going to do anything to you. But like they did say like if I was flying to like somewhere like Spain, they would have advised against it. They said anything over 3 hours, you would start to question if it's a safe scenario to be up at that altitude and then come down like without full
Because it's
knowledge.
quick up and down.
But because it's a quick up and down, you're basically your body's not getting to a stage where it even attempts to acclimatise to it, and to then de-acclimatise to it when you're coming down. It's just you're up and you're down. So it was like, yeah, they're all like, that's fine. So like, I was given the approval to fly to Chelmsford. I just mentally
hard
should
not to go.
not. I should
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I will say, I do say now, I shouldn't have played the event in general. Like, I should have just sat and talked to people and had fun that way. The games were all still fun, but it also hit this kind of weird note. Because basically what I said to my opponents was, I'm going to play the game, but I'm not here to actually win. I'm just here to make you not look like you had an easy win. That was like the notion to every game. So like when game one was against Jonathan, I was like, damn it, I'm going to get stressed because I can't let this fucker beat me again. Like, but
Proceeds to get curb stomped.
no, it was 2-1. Listen, I took a round off him.
Oh, okay.
I took a round off him, and he only beat me when it went to time. Otherwise, it was a legit draw. If he didn't draw into like pure gas in his last hand, like that game actually was a draw. To be fair, I also was going to just take a loss because of the shenanigans of round one as well. Because I already wanted to scoop, so like I already knew that game was a loss anyway. But when he didn't actually just beat me, I was like, thank God, because then there was no implication of him feeling bad that I'm then just scooping on time, so he gets the win. I play a Grog who was the next game that then just had bad luck against me, to be honest. Like I just got set up, I get double VME like opening turn, and just was like, I'm not letting you ever hit me. Like they just couldn't get any rage tokens unless it was me hitting them, and I was just coming in lethal when I was doing it.
Oh, right, okay.
Like I think I hit them with like, see the one that's like how +1/+1 for each of your momentum. I think I hit them with like a +15/+15 at one point. So,
all right.
Like I was just coming in.
Did you thank them for coming at that point?
Oh, it was, but they also had a lot of bad luck. To be fair, like some of their checks were rough when they were playing attacks and stuff, and I was like, damn, because I'm just hitting stuff with speed. I've always got the right block zone. They didn't have like crazy throws. They were playing a legit Grog deck as well, and I was like, I've just got to set up for this, like,
Fair.
Because then, who did I play after that? I played the Grog, then I played. So I lost, I won. I then played Big Dan, and he's also playing Mitch, but he's playing on he's playing on Order, and I was like, this is going to be awesome because I get to play Dan, love Dan to bits. So I was like, this is going to be a fun game because I'm already like, because I'm like so desensitized to I don't actually want to perform well because I don't want the stress of doing the higher up games. I'm already like every one of these games is just a joy because I'm getting to just play people I don't get to play. And then, like, my Mitch deck says, like, yeah, you don't get to do the stun stuff. And he was like, yeah, that's what my Mitch deck does. And I was like, oh, wow. So we end up, like, having this back and forth. And then in time, we just both didn't see the attacks. Then I had to play Thomas. And I was like, God damn it. And he pulled me to a draw. And I was like, I can't believe it. I was like, as long as he didn't win, that was all that mattered.
You got a safe face.
I couldn't let him win. But he got a draw off me. I was like, okay, I see how this is. This is going to be a long-term rivalry. And then I played somebody that was playing Levi, which was really, really fun as well. And I did basically the same scenario as the Grog. They just had horrendous checks, and I just had, like, overluck on everything I did. And then I get the win. Like, because my wins were all, like, 2-0s. My draws were all goes to time. And my losses were all Well, my first one was 2-1, and then I've had to play a big mouth. But by that point, I was like mentally checked out. Because by the time we got to the last round, I needed more painkillers for sure, and I was like 2 to 3 hours removed before I was allowed more. And I was just, and I felt bad for Harry because I think I was happy enough playing that. I hope I gave off the impression of that, but like I was so mentally zoned out as such. And then he's just hit me with big attacks, and I was like, yeah, do what you're doing. It's like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then he like tools me so aggressively, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with this. Like, not
I had
fine
such
that I
a
lost
weird
him.
run at
Not
Chelmsford.
not fine in the sense of losing to a big mouth again in the final round when I'm unwell, but that's like
Yeah.
a side notion.
I was top 16 in Chelmsford, but I had such a weird start in fights. I got to play both French players as well. It's great fun.
Yeah, I hope they're able to keep growing as well. Like I want there to be like a French base.
There was one
We
a couple of years back, but it kind of just like dwindled due to the lack of support, and they did mainly webcam events. And I jumped in on their webcam events and stuff, just like do it. But then there was a lot of infighting between the casual and competitive players, and it kind of just fell apart.
Yeah, that's rough. Like I think that's rough because
I guess that's-
you're going to be in one of the two camps. And I think like it just I think if you've not got enough support out with the company, like what do you do at a local level like that?
Right, so shall we talk about UK Games Expo, or do you want to just spend 5 minutes laughing at me because of the TMNT trailer?
Oh, I never even thought of that as an option, but the laugh option sounds good. I think no, I think we can highlight over the expo because I think it's more just an additional source of voice and opinions is really all that's needed.
Yeah.
As such, like obviously you were there, like the way like because me and Brett talk all the time and stuff as well. So it's like the way I said to you such was like I just feel as if there was zero man hours on if they got the spot back to start with. It felt like when they lost it in February, and we were very much told it wasn't. It was more likely not happening. Like that was what we were told, and I think it was that scenario where like I think that should have just been made a post. To be honest, like
And by we were told that we mean someone told me and Connor that
yeah,
UK Games Expo was like
wasn't
very
wasn't
shaky at the time and may not happen. It
was
wasn't like
yeah,
something
it
that went
wasn't
out in the
even like
community.
it wasn't even like it's on shaky grounds. It was literally it's not happening, but we're trying our best to get it back. That was
Yeah.
like that's what was happening. So like for me personally, like I was going to book holiday time off for that weekend because I want to go there and support the company. I want to then also go to the UK Expo, but I wanted a full reason to go. I then didn't put in my holidays because they were like, "There's a chance we don't get it back." So I'm like, "Well, why would I put in holidays for something that I don't really then want to go to otherwise?"
Yeah.
And then obviously they then go like, "Hey, we've got like we are announcing we're going to the expo," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great," but it was so late where I'm like, I can only hope that that actual post went up the moment they got an email from UK Expo saying like you've got your spot. Like I hope that's the case. I hope it wasn't something they sat on for months. Really hope
Yeah.
that's not the case. And I don't
I
think it's
kind
the
of did the
case.
opposite of you. When they're like, "Oh, it's a bit shaky," I was like, "Okay, I'll change my plan because I'm making content because I want to experience other games and like not just get trapped in my universe's bubble. I'll go to UK Games Expo this year, but I'll take Flynn, who will give me who like find things he's interested in with and like draw me away from just sitting at the university stuff if they get to go. And when we got no updates on like events and stuff like that, we didn't even know like the events were on UGN. I was like, cool, I'm
Yeah.
not signing up for any events. I'm going to go and have this as like time with Flynn, but I'll pop in on universes when as and when I can.
Yeah. And it's like I think what ended up happening was like they obviously knew it was on shaky grounds or it wasn't happening. And I feel as if like at that moment in time, I genuinely do feel as if the idea was it's not happening, so we're not looking at any conversation of it happening. And I totally appreciate that is what I would also have done. Like, if something looks as if it's not happening, why waste the man hours when the company's small enough that you don't want wasted time happening for something that might not happen, because it's just counterproductive. Like, that person could be doing something way more important at that point. But we also have like talks with other people within the community where like clearly there was talks of things big happening for it. So the idea was there. It was then dropped. I'm fine with that. I'm like actually too fine with it. What I don't like was the fact that they then announced that they got the spot and then proceeded to do absolute zero advertisement to it, like in the slightest. Like, I do not get how. What the way I describe it is, I don't get how PAX East can be so overly saturated with talked about articles, announcements, stuff happening, and then when it comes to the international stage, it's like completely zeroed out, and it's like, just do something, to like instill that hope that like yous aren't actually just ditching the international scene again.
So, to play devil's advocate, and as the resident company shill, I don't think it's an
Said it, not
international.
us.
I don't think it's an international issue, because PAX AUS had a start running demos, and it got articles, it got press from UVS, because they had a proper setup. They had the banners, they had a star, and they had Bailey, who we met at Worlds, who was playing some very cool decks, and he's one of the most friendly players you'll ever play against from the OCE. Was doing demos, and they were wall to wall busy doing demos for 8 hours a day. So they are doing it. It's just, it's not a PAX thing. It's not a convention thing. It's just they didn't have the space, and the space they had wasn't utilized properly. Whether that's a UKGE issue or
It's
a
definitely
UVS
it's
issue or
definitely
something.
it's definitely a both issue, and I 100% am with that. But when when the space got cut, like, it shouldn't. It's one of those ones where it's like, I get it, like tournament organisers and like event organisers is a legit job for a reason, because you've got to then think on the fly of how you make something great again. And I just think it's one of those scenarios where maybe that's somebody they need. Like, maybe that's something they actually need within their staffing range. Is there somebody that is their job title? Like, that's what they do. Because I just feel as if like there was no reach out to anyone like the Daubers or UK Versus. There was no reach out to anyone who could have helped at all. And I'm sitting going like, how is that not like? How is that not an email that takes 2.5 seconds to write? Are you going to the expo?
So new information has come to light to me about UK Games Expo and the areas that it has, and this hasn't come from UVS or anything like that. But Flesh and Blood sponsored the free play area.
Yeah.
And where the university's tournaments were taking place was in the free play area. You are not allowed to demo in that area. So there was no point contacting us. There was no point putting on a fancy show because they weren't able to showcase the game.
That's me. So if they're in the free play area, right, and you're not allowed to demo, right? Because the thing, right, what's to stop people just playing demo games?
There isn't.
So they could have easily have contacted us and been like, "Hey, do you want to like have some demo decks on you? Like, it's not as if we don't have them anyway." And it's like, could you just play demos? Like, if somebody like, because at the end of the day, like, all they have to do, if they had the re-admin stage and they had that spot, they can just say, "Listen, there's people playing this game in the free play area. Go talk to them." Problem solved.
Then the issue then is that's a request from UVS to break UGE rules.
But not necessarily.
There would have been nothing stop. So there'd be nothing stopping me having a casual conversation with my friend Matt and him going, "Oh, do you have time to play some games with new players in the free play area using demo decks?" That's fine. But when
there's nothing stopping. But it's not advertisement, right?
Director,
If somebody goes up to your booth, right, goes up to your spot, right, and they're like, "Oh, where could I play this?" Or, "Do you know people who play this game?" Pointing out players isn't anything above board. Like, at that point, you're just saying, "Listen, we know there's a bunch of people playing at the free play area. Go see if they're still there." It's all you have to say. Like, because we would then just be there.
doing that,
Yeah.
but there's nothing stopping us doing that, but UVS can't request that because it goes against UGE rules.
But they're not requesting it. It's somebody asking. If somebody asks, like, is there a place you can play this game? Like, they could have been they could have been handing out demo decks, for instance, for people to play.
But
Because
they
if you
can't
go,
because that's still demoing kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
but it's not. If you're
the
handing
space
out,
wasn't designed for showcasing.
if you're handing out free products, right, that's throwaway product to give to people in passing, right, where they take that product to play is just inherently the free play area.
Yeah, for
right?
us,
you
it
might
makes
you
sense.
might not be
But
able to teach them the game. Specifically, the company might
Yeah.
not be able to teach them the game, but there's nothing that stops people. Because I already know the Altered game had demos happening in the free play area. And it was the same kind of notion where it was like just generally people meeting up to play the game.
but Altered also had demos going on at the Game Genic booth because
Yeah.
that's where I had mine.
Yeah,
But
also
it's one of those
having
things that-
people playing it in that free play area is just the same
Yeah.
thing though. So it's like that's what I mean. Like, yeah, they don't have the space to do it at their booth because it was a
So
table basically.
If I'd have
But there's-
found my demo decks and then posted on the Facebook groups or the UGE going, do you want to learn to play Universities? I'll be in the free play area. This is a completely fan made kind of
that's
thing.
That's all we could have done. But that conversation didn't even exist. Like, that's what I'm meaning. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many ways where you could set up with like the two YouTube channels of the UK, like the bigger ones that post, like, could have been in that area playing the game. Like, we didn't even need to necessarily have demo decks. We could have the demo decks, and then we could have challenger decks. We could have had product with us showing off the game from that aspect of just being like, this is just stuff we're playing. Like, there was so many options. It just felt like it was. There was it feels bad, right? It just feels as if there wasn't enough people there wasn't enough boots on ground to be able to make anything happen. And I do genuinely I'd even sent the message to you. It's the first time in a long while where I genuinely don't think UVS Games was at fault in the slightest on what happened. I just feel there was stuff they could have mitigated to making it look less shit.
Yes. All we needed was an article or some kind of communication to clarify. Because, like I said on the stream where I was going over UK Games Expo, I put my reputation on the line in the UK Game Expo community, in the Critters community, by going, go see UVS. They've got the promos. It's a great game, and there wasn't anything there. And I made assumptions that they were going to be doing stuff like that because it's Game Expo, and we had no clarification as to what it was going to be. So I get, it was very disappointing, but it sucks from a company's point of view because they can't circumvent UKGE, and hindsight's 2020, where we can be like, we could have done this, but it's like without knowing what UVS's plans are there, because we didn't have that communication, we couldn't plan for that.
Yeah, we can't plan for it. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think it's one of those ones as well where, like, I think the biggest thing to emphasize as well is this is like one of the first times, at least in the UK, where like they've actually like been a presence at a convention, and having a bad presence has a lingering effect. At the end of the day, and I really hope that's not something that I hope the fact that there was almost zero presence, to be quite honest, makes it that people didn't notice. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds crazy to say that. I hope people generally didn't notice us this time round, so that, like, if we do get to it next year and I have an actual presence, people aren't like, oh yeah, what happened to the company where you blew up from like a good presence to like what you did last year, for instance? Do you know what I mean? Like, I hope that doesn't become a thing.
So my headcanon is, now we're partnered with Game Genic for stuff and things like that, we might see demos through places like that, because they've got the altered products and they're doing altered demos, setting up a table universes stuff and going, here's a TMNT demo or something or whatever, here's the Godzilla starters or whatever's going to be around in May, June next year at the Game Genic table is a huge get.
100%.
Although they might have their own booth, having Game Genic kind of vouch for us, similar with like the Riftbound Riot stuff being.
That's actually what I was going to bring up. Was Riftbound at that expo, or is that too far removed now?
So, Riftbound is nowhere near being at events like that at the moment.
Fine.
It was at PAX East. It was done. The demos were done behind closed doors.
Right. Okay.
At Gen Con, Riftbound will be there. At PAX East later in the year, it'll be there. PAX Unplugged, sorry. It'll be at PAX Unplugged, it'll be at Gen Con, it'll be at the League of Legends Finals in China, and it'll be at the Team Fight Tactics Championships in Paris in December.
Okay.
Because we've just had like a lot of information drop.
So it's got like a fair calendared plan out, which is nice.
Yeah, so spoiler season has started. We got the first card yesterday, but it officially starts on Monday with media and content creators getting the stuff. And it looks like they've reached out to very big content creators to do it. The LGS embargo's lifted. The content creator embargo is not really existent. People are dropping full deck lists and stuff from unlaunched products and stuff. It's really cool. They're starting off with a star first approach where you get, if you win essentially your star championship, you get a buy at regionals.
Okay, yeah. Quite a few games do that, that's fair.
Depending on how well you do at regionals and how big the regionals is, you get an invite to regional championships. Regional championships get you to worlds, but regional championships and worlds will be cash prized.
Yeah, which is always going to happen. It's always going to happen. But the thing is, it's always a boo scenario, right? But let's be honest, it's the only way that you entice enough people to come into games at times is just cash incentive prizes. Like we can't.
We were the same for getting off the ground.
I was going to say.
No, we can't do that anymore.
The only reason we didn't continue doing it is because it long term doesn't work, and also My Hero owners were like, yeah, we don't like that idea.
No,
the tech billionaires didn't want to lose any more money.
The way that Riot run League of Legends events is probably how they're going to run the Riftbound events. So it's going to be those cash prizing, and it looks like UVS and Riot have done a good job trying to get this as a star level product first. And there's even a 5v5 format.
That's fair.
Oh, cool.
It's designed to replicate a League of Legends match, but instead of being a 10-player multiplayer, it's 3 separate matches of 2 2v2s and 1 1v1.
Okay, I like that. That's quite fun. I don't hate.
Makes sense. I don't
hate Riftbound. I just have no attachment to the IP, which is the only reason I'm just not attached to the idea of playing it.
It's a fun game. It's intuitive. Is it something I can see myself playing competitively? Depends on the set and what else is in there. Yeah,
I mean, don't wrong. Listen, if there's money involved, right, there's a high chance I will play it competitively just for the money. But but that's entirely just at a sellout value rate.
But that also depends if you. That's the kind of thing behind it is. If you're going to play Riftbound, you're either going to play at a casual level, so you don't care about regionals, or you're going full try hard. You want to kind of make this a career, almost kind of hobby.
Yeah, I would say I already said, if One Piece was still doing it for the money, I'd have played for the money. It would, but
no, you need to play One Piece of money. You just need to buy packs and get one good card and make $3,000.
Yeah,
because it's dumb.
But that's the problem with games like that. I don't like when it's money. In fact, it's actually the biggest reason I don't like a lot of things happening with webcam and some events where it's all money incentivized. It's there has to be a level where you actually appreciate the game with the outtake of money. If money's not involved, do you still play the game? I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of people I don't think play our game that wouldn't play it if the money side of things just seem to be why they play webcams, why they play certain events that are going for a 2.5k payout. Not talking.
I mean,
about
that event isn't actually that stacked. I think it's still around 70, 80 people.
I don't even think it was as much as that. I actually generally think it was less than that.
And it's just one of the things that the people play Universes because they love it. Our ultimate prize is you get to join the game. Is mainly why I'm kind of still here. In all honesty,
that prize needs to come back with nationals. Just saying, hurry up, and make it happen. UBS,
no, that would involve.
We need to get nationals back.
Yeah, that would involve us having nationals.
I think we actually have a chance of getting nationals back next year, though.
I don't know why they took them the hell away. Is the difference? They should still be a thing.
I get why they took it away. 31 players are signed up to the 2K event. That's what it is.
31.
So, 31, yeah, for a 2K event. Like,
Jeez.
do you want? But here's the thing, right? And this is not shade on the people running it, right? If I'm putting $2.5 grand up, right? I want my event capping out. Like,
Yeah.
31 players isn't even a regional that we were told. And there's two
Well, at
and
least
a half.
double that.
Like winners, winner gets 1,000, second gets 500, third and fourth get 250 each, and 58 get $125 each. Like,
How much is entry?
entry like $30. Yeah, 30. Literally, are you like, how mental is that? Also, bear in mind, there's also then a 1K event the following day that's sponsored by Rochester for a retro event. That I think if for a $45 bundle, it signs you up to both. So like, ideally, you're saying like $27.50 for each event for the idea of potentially going home with, if you win both, for instance, you're going home with $1,400.
So what you need?
I'm not doing the math. It's late at night, and I've came off of a 12-hour shift.
So
Somebody can do the math.
Oh, we're going to drop off soon anyway. I'm
if
knackered.
it's $30 entry, not including tax, because you got to remember they have tax on top of all this. You're talking $90 for 3 people, so around what?
It's like
Around 280 people. You kind of need to make your money back.
Yeah,
and they're at 30.
They're at 30. You're going to assume that those 30 aren't buying a case each when they get there. Like, I just don't get this idea where money has to be the incentivization to like playing the game. Like, I think that's actually why the character card format, like of actually winning character cards, has to come back, because I just feel as if like the prize doesn't need to be topped when you get to become a character card. Like, that's like the best way. In fact, the best way and probably an ender to this scenario, right, is Murray would not be a judge if legitimate access to winning a character card was a thing. The fact that you have to go all the way to Worlds and it's a one and done thing where it's just not discrediting anyone, but at the end of the day, like, it's a one-time round tournament where just somebody has a good day, gets a character card.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Because I know if I ever got the character card, I would stop playing the game as mega competitively. I still go to events and stuff like that, but I would be no need to go and do everything I achieved that got the character card.
So you're talking about bringing back, like, at the Nationals level. What if Nationals came back, but it was teams and retro, and they brought back the cards for those?
So I was actually thinking about this, right? Like, I think
Connor would need to get his belts for the first teams event as a difference first.
I mean, yeah, my price for teams still hasn't arrived. Yeah, hope somebody's listening.
How long did it take you to find that out, Adam, that they won?
Oh, they were cryptic as fuck about it for like the entire night. So, so who won? Oh, us? At no point did you make that clear.
It was a whole conspiracy to stop you from finding out. I was sworn to secrecy.
The biggest fault to that, right, was the big thing was Adam didn't know for fucking ages, right? And the biggest thing we wanted was just to get the belts and then make a podcast where the three of us had the belts on, and just like there was just going to be just a general laugh because it was like Adam might not actually know that we've got the belts until we reveal we have the belts. But considering that
they were so focused on the whole Emma McEwen thing, I'm like, I have no idea what happened at the end of the day. Was that the final? Was that the semi-final? Was there a whole other day played? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but maybe I get my belt soon. You know, like Calvin has a really nice belt. I like.
Connor, you've got a better chance of ordering one off a WWE store and it getting to you before these ones do.
I know, but we can only hope. You know, I have to keep.
You've got a better chance of beating Jey Uso in the wrestling ring and getting the world heavyweight title than those belts arriving.
Like, the only thing is, right, and somebody make this a meme, right? All I want to know is, do I get the belts before GTA 6 comes out?
Even he's got a belt.
He's got a belt, you know. Like, it's just not a fair world. Like,
yeah, I realised my belt was hanging up there. So I was like, yeah, I've got a belt.
You know, it's just but it is what it is. Like I know, like I think the only thing that annoys me is it feels as if I've got like conflicting stories where like I wish. I'm going to say it in the nicest possible way. I wish accountability was a word I could use with UVS games a lot of times, and I feel as if it's not, especially when you're directly asking them about stuff, where it feels as if you get like palmed off until they have the right answer. And I wish somebody would just be like, when I asked, "Hey, are we getting our belts?" We literally did not get told they're lost in a warehouse somewhere. We had to go like to another fucking source to be told admin doesn't even look like they fucking approved them because there was an error with them getting made. To now being told, oh, they're somewhere in a warehouse, and I'm like, I don't feel as if at any point in time of the Indiana Jones movie where I watched that happen, did it happen to me. Like it's two correlating stories that just don't happen. And I'm like, just tell me they're not made yet. Like, just don't fucking messes around. Just say they're not made yet. Because I'm fine with that being the case. Like, at least I know. It's the same with like the whole like thing with shim lines, for instance. Stop frothing at the mouth, Adam. But like shim lines, the whole fucking thing with that was like, hey, what is the deal with this? Oh, it's a feature. To now like obviously Brett goes to the summit and gets some information, and now it's like we're actually trying to make the process different, because I also appreciate that as a genuine answer. We're actually trying to fix the process so it's less likely to happen, but we actually do
They
have
went
to
to
do
an
a trial and error.
expo with an alt art card that the world saw for the first time, with a great big dirty shim line
Yeah,
down the middle of it
the fact
in
that
their
that's something,
display case.
the fact that that's
There was
something,
other copies clearly,
yeah,
and they chose that one
that's
for
the
the
one.
case.
Which maybe was to like highlight it as a feature, but Brett, obviously you were saying you went to the summit and watched the video and stuff,
Yeah.
and like you gave more context to it. And I think I do not. This is the issue. I don't get how that couldn't have just been the answer, right? I said it from day one. All they needed to say was, "It's something we're looking into. You can be vague as shit. There's something we're looking into. We're making steps to try and fix it. It's a long process though, because printing happens way in advance." And I'm why can't that just be the answer? Why does it have to be pulling out teeth or like, oh, some people like shim lines? I seen a misprint for Pokemon once that sold for $8,000. Like, yeah, because that's like an actual misprint, not a like a thing that we see on every third card. 3 cards per box on average is what you're going to get hit with in shims. That's mental. Like, that by default does technically become a feature, but for all the wrong reasons.
I mean, I did have to dig through a lot of sheets to get my unshimmed soul leveling sheet. As much as I love them, on the cards I play, I don't want to be staring at them on my uncut sheet.
My biggest thing is like you don't want your product looking cheap. And when it looks as if Timu's printing your cards, it looks cheap at times because there's no quality control.
It's when I go and see like, you probably you probably have seen them, the shorts, the guys open the Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
the shorts of all of them.
Yeah.
They've got one of them went opened like a Pokemon card with a faint shim line, got it graded, it comes back as a defect for a faint shim line.
Yeah.
And we have big glaring dirty bastards down the middle of the cards.
Yep.
Not a defect.
Yep.
But no, I made sure to ask about it. It's on their watch list, and like I said, they're experimenting with ways to eradicate them. It might just be one of those things that they never considered it to be that big of an issue until people started to point it out, and the more traction the anti-shim movement gets, the quicker they're trying to deal with it.
I think
it's easiest thing to go and say, point another card game, a major card game that has shim lines in most of the products.
Yeah, like even
go on.
This is what I think happened. Now I think as a company perspective, right? I know there's a lot of stuff they can't say. As a community perspective, I can throw this out and maybe get into trouble to some degree. They switched factory, and the moment they switched factory, the quality control went to absolute shit. Is what it is, right? It's because they changed factory, because they didn't have My Hero anymore, so they lost access to the factory in Japan printing those cards, and they moved to Singapore. It is what it is, and now they have to work with that scenario to improve it and make it the best they can make. But but it's like that's something that's a clear, definitive moment when it happened, and I get they can't just say it.
If you want to read into things, Riftbound is confirmed to be printing out of Japan.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, because
Riot.
it's
Yeah, it's Riot.
it's Riot. They have the money to pay for it.
Yes, but if Riftbound's printing out of Japan, maybe it's a bulk deal and we'll start printing out of Japan as well.
Don't be trying to get my hopes up.
I will take that hope though, right? I do hope, because again, I don't hate Riftbound. There is scenarios to it where I'm like, I think this could be a really bad thing, but also it could be a good thing. I'm staying on the fence with it. If it is something where working with a big partnership with Riot does get them access to better printers, I am all for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, go for it. Like, kick in those doors to get better access. Because we can clearly see that, I mean, because they have even said it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, right? There's no artist that's going to draw a card. Like, if you showed artists, like, hey, this is what your art's going to look like, potentially on your card, I can guarantee there's a lot of artists that would say, do you know what? I'm actually all right. I'll find a different project. Because it just ruins the art. At the end of the day,
You were safe for Attack on Titans. Titan stuff. It's all just pulled from the comics. He's already made the money off that.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like, 'cause if you're just screen grabbing it, you're screen grabbing. You're not really talking to anyone. But like, actually, if you take like the crit roll set for instance, I don't think as many of those artists would have done that task and done that job, knowing their cards might be like heavily defaulted. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it just it makes the art look horrendous on so many cards.
It just baffles me that the fact that even in the old stuff when we played back pre-COVID times, shimlines just weren't a thing. We didn't have all the big mega fancy followings and stuff like that.
I guess we had like the ultra shim line with Jackie Briggs, but we'll not talk about it.
That wasn't a shim line. That is a.
That was the shimmest of lines.
But I mean, it's supposed to be that they're always experimenting with new card types, new card kind of printing. I mean, they printed Jetburn in America, and the whole Jetburn set went crazy.
But do you know what's worse about? But do you know the worst part about Jetburn though? Right, is the card
Trying to find
quality.
certain uncommons.
Well, here's I was
You didn't
thinking
get any
that,
ultra.
like,
That you could sometimes not get a single ultra RSI.
Yeah.
the idea that they went to an American company and said, right, we need this printed out, but clearly they didn't have a print process guideline of how like the cards get dished out, right, was mental. Like, the fact that's clearly what happened. Either the factory didn't put that in place when the cards get processed, right, or they said wing it, right, maybe for I don't know, for any real reason. Like, maybe they just thought like maybe it's fine, like, or we need it out. I don't know. But the card stock was fine on those cards. There was a couple of cards with a bit of like coloration issue, like Titancliff, for instance. I don't think was supposed to be as dark as it was. But again, also like that's one card that I can mention to like very few cards.
Well, that one got a promo then, so I mean.
Yeah, and it's like I can't really say like immediately like that's one card to a full set.
If I'm remembering correctly, the set ratios didn't match up with the printing process availability. So
yeah,
like at the minute they print on a 56 kind like on a 7x8 sheet, which is what our uncut sheets are.
Yeah.
And Jetburn was the ratios of the sets, like how much they were printing, didn't match up with what the printers could do or were able to do, kind of thing.
Yeah, so then once you go through a process,
with discards and stuff,
yeah,
that's when with the discards and stuff in the packs, because it just kind of went down. And like I said, this is just stuff I've heard from community. It's not UVS stuff. It's not Summit stuff. And but
yeah, and I think that's the bonus that we've also got. Like when we get to talk to so many people, it's like you do start to like hear all the ins and outs. And it's like, it's why that when you get to talk about it, it's especially like stuff like this where it's like you can show annoyance for real, where it's like you as a company, like, you just have to acknowledge it. Like, you just have to acknowledge something or say something like to an effect. Because at the end of the day, I'm more happy, like, to throw back to like a retro time, right? Jasko had a great tactic, right? Which was literally, we're working on it. Tim says I can't talk about it. That was the two responses you would get. And do you know what? 90% of my problems were solved with those two responses, because I kind of had a form of like belief in it getting done eventually.
But, you knew Jason at some point would probably come and say, "Go,
yeah,
so we can't doing that anymore," or just reveal something completely different and distract you with the shiny thing.
Yeah,
well, that's what,
Christmas cards.
Isn't that what
untested Christmas cards?
Paul gave us a whole list of what they're working on for the year, and we had great communication go through. And then Paul was in Discord, and he was going, "Oh yeah, we have access to the Astro Boy license." And like everyone's talking about, "Oh, that's really
Then
cool!" Like
everyone's talking about-
distracting us from what's going on.
But then, right, do you know what would be really interesting? We actually probably could do this as a collab video, right? Go through how much of that list was actually like legitimately accomplished without major fault. Because I'm
We
going
have
to be
to wait
honest.
to the end of the year because.
But I think you could. But you could definitely start it. You could definitely
Is that
start
list
it.
even still available?
It must. I'd hope it is. Otherwise, you've got a lot of research to do.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm going to
actually,
drop
just
off.
kind of,
I am
that's
meeting up
fair.
for work
ask
tomorrow.
Paul for the list.
So I'll catch you after. Nice to
That's
speak to
no
you again,
worries.
Brett.
Good to see. I'll catch you. I probably should wrap up as well.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap up as well because it's 11. I've been awake since 5 in the morning.
Well, I'm going to drop just now. I'm awake early too. I'll see you later, guys.
Yeah.
See you later, mate.
Yeah, see you
Bye.
later on, Adam.
But yeah, we'll wrap up because you're tired.
Yeah.
We've been going 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours was awesome. I enjoyed this actually. Like this is like my normal kind of streamers after work anyway. It's just rambling about UVS. So like I kind of do want to do this a bit more often anyway, and just like
Yeah.
just have people come on. So I like the idea of this. It worked out really well. The fact that it's streaming already to YouTube as well at the same time just means that the VOD is now just there, which I
That's
also love. Like the multi-streaming idea was like I'm so annoyed that I didn't do it so much sooner. But like yeah, it worked perfectly. The bot lets me look at the chat for both chats combined as well, and it just has like a emblem of where it's been sent from. It's absolutely awesome. It's only like $14 a month, but like because I stream other content as a streaming platform, like it just makes sense for me to have it as such when I'm playing like Dead by Daylight and stuff like 12 hours a week. But yeah, I enjoyed this.
Has the FNAF stuff for that dropped yet?
Yeah. Well, the PTB was out, so that has out. So I think this week or next week is when it drops. I think it's next week it drops. It usually drops like 2 weeks after the PTB. So that's getting played aggressively when that comes out. I've actually like been saving my blood points just so I can put them all into him, so that I've got him. He looks fun. But yeah, I am going to tap out. I do appreciate you joining. Hopefully you'll join a few more times potentially.
We have to get when like product drops and stuff. We should do some collabs and do some versus stuff with like with the Street Fighter stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like if we get any, because we've never been talking shit for 2 hours. We may not get sent in.
As long as it's been constructive.
It has
it's
been
fine.
constructive. Yeah, I don't think I called them shit like more than 3 times. So like I think we're fine. So
I mean, they're not in the chat having a go at us, so it's fine.
that is true. That is true. Oh no, I've just been removed from the content chat. No, but I'd be so funny if that happened though. But no, we have been constructive, and I think that's the thing that like I think like these kind of talks like being more open and happen more often is probably a great thing as well, because I think it does then over like periods of weeks give them stuff to look at and feedback on, rather than like one summit and then the next one might not be till like the very end of the year where it's like, right, well, is there stuff in between that could be implemented as well?
But it's what. So, like, talking about the changes with things like shimlines and stuff like that, I know we're trying to wrap up, but those are changes that take a really long time. What UVS has got really good with, though, is making the immediate changes. So,
Yep.
I posted a video about the Redemption Store, and the OCE players start going to the comments and going,
time, yeah.
well, yeah, this time doesn't work for us. So I tagged Guile. I'm like, can we get this time changed? He's like, it's very unlikely. And then a few weeks later, boom, the time's been changed. I'm content creators start talking about regionals pricing, and Marvin and myself are in a podcast with Cam, and we're talking about regionals pricing, saying it's not good enough. The prize war should be part of the main event and stuff like that. And then a few weeks later, it happens, and so UVS is listening to the community, and us as content creators should be constructive and voicing the concerns of the community
100%.
in a way that UVS is able to basically then go, well, this is what the content creators are talking about. We have it's not just a few people. This is the like reasoning behind it. So it's
UVS
likes
it's constant. It's a constant flow of conversation that allows
Yeah.
them to improve on everything they do.
And some changes are going to take a very long time. Like Adam was saying, he wants BlitzCon. Even if that was on UVS's radar,
Yeah,
it's 2 years away minimum.
We know that that's something that's a pipe dream to be able to get fixed at this point. Like,
But if
you have to roll that out.
But if you were saying, "Oh, prize world tickets are unfair," or like PVE shouldn't give as many prize world tickets as it is because you can farm it with Karasu, which allows people to just walk with all the prize world tickets. That is something UVS could address if they wanted to immediately.
Yeah. And it's definitely stuff they're looking at as well, which is why it's like great to have these conversations.
Yes,
because it just opens narrative is like the greatest tool that we're going to ever have when it comes to like card games and stuff like that, and being able to like work towards things, and being able to like show the displeasure and the high moments and the low moments. Like all of that is great, and hopefully we're able to do it a bit more. But as I say, we're going to wrap up there, everybody. Thank you very much for everyone that's subbed today as well. Much appreciated. And thank you very much for Adam and Brett for joining. And yeah, we will catch you all next time. See you later on, everyone.
See you at game night.